A resort manager has a team of people who make his work possible. So for me, first and foremost, it's a recognition and validation of the work that is put in by my team, Team Dhigali, Team Niva Dhigali. So professionally, this means that the team has done very good work over the years. And personally, it's, I think for me, it means that a young man from Formula who started 25-30 years ago in this industry came a long way, and then I think it's a sign that it's that anybody, any young person can dream of becoming a resort manager one day. So for me, it works at two levels. Professionally, it's recognition of the team, and personally, I think this means that anything is possible for a young man who joins this industry. If I look back on my long career and 30+ years, I have had many defining moments, and most of these defining moments are moments where I took up challenges, and I, instead of moving up, I most of the time moved sideways, meaning I moved from one operational area to the other. I started off with F&B. I was in front office, I was in housekeeping, I was in F&B again, I was in learning and development, and then I came back into operations. So every time I made one of these horizontal moves, I think those, I would say, would be defining moments where somebody gives me a challenge and then I take up this challenge. And I think that helped me broaden my horizons, and then it has made me a more versatile individual. We are dealing with people, whether they are guests, or whether they are staff, or whether they are suppliers. We are always dealing with people, and people perceive things not as they are, but it's a subjective perception. And if you're like me, who went to hotel school in the late 80s and early 90s, one of the first things they try and teach you in customer service is that you have to be what they call DRIPs. You have to be a diplomat, you have to be a record keeper, you have to be an information source, a psychologist, and a salesperson. And when you put all these things together, you basically need to understand people. You have to provide information. So understanding people, trying to influence behavior, trying to get people to behave in a certain manner requires us to understand psychology, understand human behavior, so we can influence them and then we can make them happier. So I think psychology is very important. Behavioral sciences, behavioral psychology is very, very important for anyone trying to achieve a career milestone in hospitality, especially if anyone is trying to make a difference in this industry, in the lives of the people he or she works with, and also in the lives of the guests who experience his or her service. We always talk about a simple vision that is grounded in the guest, trying to provide a holistic experience for the guest, where everybody creates equal value. Whether you are in housekeeping, whether you are cleaning the beaches, whether you provide transportation through the island, or whether you are serving a meal in a restaurant, you are creating value, and everybody creates equal value, because the guest at the end of the day talks about his experience, his or her experience of the island, of the resort, of Niva Dhigali, and everyone in the team creates value towards that experience, towards that end result, because people don't experience service in a linear fashion. It's emotional peaks and troughs. So we are trying to make sure that we are there to make the guests remember the emotional peaks where they are happiest. Learning and development is an important concept. I think sometimes people overuse the word. You have concepts like growth, you're trying to develop people, you're trying to grow people, but I think at the end of the day, you are trying to change people's lives. You're trying to make tomorrow better for somebody. And for that, you need to understand why somebody wants to work in this industry, and then you want to motivate that person, inspire that person, and then convince that person that he or she will be better off tomorrow if he or she has a growth mindset and tries to improve him or herself every day on a daily basis. So I think learning and development as a concept, as an idea, is very, very important, because one of the biggest things that everybody tries to do is retain staff. If you want to retain staff, you have to show them where they benefit from the organization. And I think learning and development plays an important role in making sure that someone believes that he or she is being benefited by staying with the company, with the team, with an organization. We are trying to make impressions every day. And for us, we talk of first impressions and last impressions. Sometimes none of these things are in our control, because we have guests who arrive on this island after 10 hours being on board a long haul flight, and then take a seaplane and then come here. They're tired, they're worried, they're not the happiest sometimes. So we are trying to manage these expectations. We are trying to create these impressions where people feel they're welcome, they feel that they're getting value out of what they buy, and they're getting an experience they've actually planned for. So we try and make sure that we deliver what we promise, and we try and make sure that every guest leaves on a high, because for us the last impression matters a lot. So we're trying to create that last impression. That is something very, very important. But throughout the journey, throughout the guest journey, throughout the stay, we're trying to stay focused and make sure that we create that positive experience for the guest. It is easier said than done. Everybody tries, everybody says that we understand that, our people need well-being. We focus on the well-being of our staff. At Niva Dhigali, we started focusing on this long ago. Even before COVID, we would probably be one of the first resorts to run mental health awareness programs for staff, even before COVID. And we've done that consistently throughout the last 5-6 years. We try to make people aware, to make the staff aware that this is a stressful environment, and to stay focused, to focus on their well-being, they need to understand that they go through stress, and then they understand, they're aware of it. And we create channels where they can share. We educate our HODs so that they can recognize and address issues of burnout and issues of well-being when they see it within their teams. We are most proud of how we've cooperated, how we've collaborated, and how we've worked together with the communities in the schools within the atoll. Between 2022 and 2026, I have personally visited almost all the schools in this atoll and taken sessions, career guidance sessions for the students of these schools. So we work very, very closely with the schools, and us visiting the schools is one thing, and also we facilitate field visits for students, for BTech students, to come to Niva Dhigali and then experience our operations, so that they have a better understanding of what goes on in a resort. So it's one of these things that we are really proud of, the collaboration that we have with the schools. And also we've been part of a lot of community initiatives, especially with Raa Meedu, Fano, and also Maduvari. We participated in environmental programs, tree planting, island cleaning. So we're trying to stay as much engaged, as engaged as we can with the community and the councils and the people. I think sometimes we try to separate all these things, but I don't believe that we can separate these. I think they all go hand in hand. I think if you can look after your guests, if you can look after the staff, everything else will fall in line. When it comes to staff, a lot of our staff are from the neighborhood, from the community. So if we look after them, their communities are also looked after. So for me, it's something that goes together. And then if everything works well, then we achieve our commercial objectives. I think we have a great responsibility. Like you said, I've been involved in structured systematic courses with MNU and also with Villa College. I worked with other colleges as well as a visiting lecturer, as a part-time lecturer. And then one of the things that I often see with the students is that they always looking for guidance. And the more people we have who can give this guidance, the better it is for the future. So I think all of us as leaders, as industry leaders, especially Maldivians, need to step into that role of mentorship and be able to guide people, answer people's questions, young people's questions, so that they have a better shot at success in this industry. They have questions, they have a lot of questions. Sometimes they are very anxious, and then somebody with experience can help them and calm them down and then put them back on the path to success. Well, this is an industry that gives you a lot of satisfaction at the end of the day when you do your job well, because you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with staff, whether you're dealing with guests, you're dealing with human emotions, and to see someone happy gives you a lot of satisfaction at the end of the day. So it gives you satisfaction at a personal level, and also this industry rewards you well, it pays you well. Yes, you are away from your family most of the time, but I think you just need to look at the cost and the benefit. I think the benefit outweighs the cost. So I think this is a good option for a career, for a long-term career, and I think you can achieve a lot of your personal goals if you get into the industry and into a leadership position, and if you aspire to become an industry leader. I think this is a very, very good industry. I think it has grown from a very simple product to a very complex product. In the beginning, when I joined about 34 years ago, resorts used to be very simple, and not all resort rooms had air conditions, and they were just fans, and everything was simple. But now you have your menus are more complex, you have a lot of imports, you have salmon, you have other delicacies, you have everything that's coming from Scandinavia and other parts of the world. So the product has become more complex. I think that has also increased the level of expectation of the visiting tourists. So the demand and the expectations have gone up. The competition is much higher as a destination and also within the industry as resorts. So it has become tougher as leaders, as industry people, as staff. It has become more challenging to work in this industry. So the evolution, I think, it is a natural evolution given the expectations of the guests, of the traveling public. I think the destination has grown, yes, and it has become more complex. Yes, I think my achievement is in a big part thanks to the efforts of the team. At Niva Dhigali, we've changed our business model after COVID. We were not always at premium all-inclusive resort. We changed after COVID, and we've succeeded over the last 5-6 years. We've established ourselves, and we now have a lot of repeat guests, which is evidence that the product is being received well. I think that shows how much the team has contributed, how hard the team has worked. So I think once again I want to thank the team.